Everyone watching, you all know I love a bit of trivia. Obviously, there are no kind of points here, but yeah, it's more like let's see who kind of gets the answer. But I would not be specific this time around. Firstly speaking, yes, historically, of course, Chelsea are much kind of stronger when it comes to Southampton because of obvious reasons, and we have I think won 47 games against Southampton, where Southampton have just won 31 games. But the reason I'm saying that is because when it comes to cups, and that's where the difference is. Anyone, just a random guess, what is the kind of ratio between Southampton and Chelsea in terms of who's won what? Ismail or maybe Anvay or Krishna, what do you think? Like, Southampton, like totally, I'll give you a hint. Like, there are 12 games which have happened in cups over the years. Again, we are talking about all cups here. In 12 games, how many do you think Southampton must have won? I know I can tell you that four went into replays, so four definitely were kind of draws, technically speaking. But out of the remaining eight, how many has Southampton actually won?
I would say 2.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Let me take a quick look at the comments. I don't know if comments are yet coming in, but yes, guys, the question is basically Southampton, how many cup games have they won against Chelsea out of the eight that had a proper result? Okay, so I'll come up with an answer. The answer is four. Yes, they have won 50% of the games in cup competitions, and that's something that Chelsea need to be wary of. I know, again, we are talking about history, and history doesn't count for much when it comes to a cup game, but that itself can really, motivate them because I'm sure they will use it for their advantage in their team talk. So there have been four draws, four wins, and four losses for Chelsea. But I think let's talk about more recent games because that has more weightage. So 2018 was the last time we played them in a cup. And anyone remembers what happened in 2018, where we played them, which stage was it, and why was it kind of very important as well? So I kind of obviously share here, but again, the idea is not about questioning or testing you guys. But yeah, definitely 2018 was a great victory. It was at Wembley. It was basically 2-0 victory for Chelsea, of course, and we had Giroud playing back then, obviously, who was a main man, and along with Morata, and these were the two goal scorers. But even more interestingly, I think Chelsea, obviously going back in history, people who kind of followed in the 1990s, for them especially, we actually won our second League Cup in 1998, and that was a season when again we faced Southampton. This time, though, it was not in the semis; it was basically in the initial rounds. So this is something that was an interesting game because it went into extra time. It was, I think, the fourth round of League Cup, right? And we went on to win in extra time, and the person who scored was an ex Chelsea assistant coach, Jody Morris. Jody Morris actually scored that goal. So these are like two cup games that we had against Southampton that I thought just let's just share about it because again it is a cup game after all, and hopefully this can kind of turn them because both the times we went on to win the trophy. So hopefully it is not third time lucky for Southampton, and we kind of continued that trend because we definitely need this. A League Cup will kind of motivate the team even more to do better in other competitions. And obviously in the league recently we met them. People would be remembering just like Aston Villa, we met them in the league as well as in the cup. We met Southampton as well in the league. It was about I think 3.5 weeks ago, and we had a great 3-1 comeback victory after they had equalized. Of course, Chaloba had a great game. Timo Werner had a great game. One of the first good games that he had this season, I would say. Ben Chilwell had a mixed game, giving a penalty away as well as scoring that great volley that he did over the last couple of minutes. But I think Ward Prowess, who was basically there for Southampton, is not there because he got the red card, so he's not going to be there. So hopefully that will kind of give us the edge. And even before that, I think surprisingly we did not get a win against Southampton. I think in any game for over 2 years. So the last time that we got a win before, obviously the recent win, was in 2019 in October. So that was almost like I think over 2 years technically, right? Which was a good win, but it was an away win. And now that Chelsea is playing at home tomorrow, when was the last time we beat Southampton at home? It was actually in 2017. 2017 was the last time. It was literally 4 years ago. So for all Chelsea fans and generally people saying that okay, Chelsea beat Norwich 7-0 and we are basically having Southampton, we beat them recently. And then if you really see the recent history that I've been talking about, a lot of things are kind of going in Southampton's favor. Again, I don't want to have a jinx, so maybe that's why I'm trying the reverse jinx here. But yeah, as in 2017 was the last time we won at home. And any guesses who scored that only goal? It was a 1-0 victory basically. And only goal that we scored. Anyone remembers 2017? I know it's been a long time, but as we have obviously Rich Sports in the house. Okay, the person who scored was actually is actually a member of the Chelsea squad still, right? And this person
Aspilicueta?
is no, and this person is famous for free kicks. Let me put it that way. Who basically is a defender, but you can probably put him as a number 9.
Marcus Alonso, is it?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think Vijay for Sports got it, as well as mine. Yeah, Marcus Alonso got that only goal. So I don't know, like, will we play Marcus Alonso? Again, that's something to go with. Cup games, I know that he's been good at Wembley as well in the past, but that's something to go with. But in terms of form, right, obviously Southampton, they've had, I think, decent form. I would not say very bad form. They won. I think they had to play 2 rounds, and they played Newport County. They beat them 8-0, and of course they beat Sheffield United in the previous round on penalties after 2-all away. And Chelsea, on the other hand, we beat Villa on penalties, with obviously it being 1-all, with Timo Werner getting that goal, who's missing now. But in other cup competition, we've had kind of mixed responses because our team lost to Juventus, but that was the only loss that we got in the last 5 games. So that also kind of gives the edge, hopefully. And Southampton have had kind of 2 draws, 2 losses, and I think 1 victory. And the only victory they got is just, I think, a week and a half ago. And if I'm not wrong, that was against, I think they drew with Burnley last weekend, and they beat Leeds. 2 people that we have to talk about in the Southampton team. Smayan, I'll come to you because of it being the Chelsea connection. But Tino Livramento, right? And this person kind of, has done excellently for Southampton, and someone who basically will probably continue doing well, but Broja not being, eligible. So do you think, Smayan, for such cup games, we should actually, allow our basically rival teams to use our own players like we did with Derby County earlier with Mason Mount? Because Broja playing this game, I know he has a slight injury, but playing this game would only benefit Chelsea as well, right? If Southampton go for a special request, he could be allowed, but I don't think that has been the case. But maybe Chelsea should be like, just being the bigger brother kind of thing in the EPL, right? And say that, okay, hey, Armando Broja kind of can play. It's okay, let him play against us, right? Because it is after all a player on Chelsea's books, and he'll only get more exposure.
Yeah, I don't think. See, obviously, if he has good form, the best he can do is give us some threat. I don't think one player being at the top of his form can actually make or break the game. So even if he's at the top of his form, he'll just be a threat. But I don't want to sound overconfident here, but I think Chelsea is clear in this one. So we don't have anything to worry about. So we can give that, as you said, being the big brother. So we can do that 100%.
It is a cup game. It is definitely not the top cup game, but it is a knockout as well. So we have to be careful in the lineup. So let me actually share my screen, because I actually have something in mind that Chelsea may do this game. Looking at how we played against Southampton in the league game as well, right, where we came back to win. So just let me try and share my screen as I'm figuring it out. But yeah, this will be certainly interesting. I have basically, Smayan, I have a midfield of Kovacic and Barkley. And then I have basically right wing back, I have Aspilicueta. Aspilicueta for me definitely is someone that needs to come back, because we might rest Jorginho. So if we rest Jorginho, we need someone to kind of captain in a cup game. And left wing back, I have Alonso coming back because of obvious reasons, having scored previously against Southampton, and obviously Chilwell being in a great form but having a great run of games. So probably coming back on the weekend with Newcastle makes sense. Back three, I would go with Malang Sarr. And along with that, I have Chaloba and Christensen coming back, because Thiago Silva had a couple of, I think, starts recently. So at this stage, I'll probably give him a rest. And in goal, I would start Kepa, because he deserves it, going by the performances that he's had. And up front, I'll have Kai Havertz, because in those 7 goals, he was not able to score a single goal. So, just continue with him, and we don't have any options either. Like Werner and Lukaku are out, Pulisic is out as well. I hope it's clear now, finally.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It just took 100 years, but yeah, finally we got it. But yeah, this is what I was trying to say is my team, and the fact that we have that attacking prowess up front, like with Hudson Odoi and Ziyech attacking, taking shots. The fact that Havertz not scoring is the reason why I went with that front three. And Barkley is also an attacker again from midfield, and Loftus Cheek in that last cup game against Villa actually stood, back, and he was able to kind of defend well as go on those runs. So that's my logic, along with Alonso obviously being the free kick specialist that he is, right? So I don't know if that kind of makes sense.
Man, take us through your predicted 11. What do you think will happen?
I think my predicted 11 would be quite similar to the one he presented. I definitely want Marcus Alonso to be back because before Chilwell went on a rampage and scored like I think 3 or 4 games in a row. What is it? So for a left back, that's pretty good. And Marcus Alonso was in the Player of the Month nominee right before it, so I would expect him to put out a good performance. And the midfield, Barkley and Kovacic again, two very underrated midfielders in my opinion, and yeah, they can definitely like boss the midfield, especially Kovacic in the game. I don't know which game exactly it was. Maybe it was Brentford or Southampton itself where he put out a great performance. So
What do you think about Conte now that he's back? Do you think this will be a good game to play him at?
I wouldn't want to risk anything happening to him again since, like, even if we rest him, it's because we have a few like tough fixtures coming up in a while. Obviously, next we have Newcastle, Malmo, and Burnley, so it's not too worrisome. But then we have Leicester, Juventus, and Man United all in a row. With so I wouldn't want Kante anything like bad to happen to Kante. So that's why I think resting Kante is a wide idea. I'm not sure about Jorginho though. Jorginho could play, and Sar and Chaluba. I think Sar, Chaluba, and Christensen. That's a pretty good defense, but I would want either Rudiger or Thiago Silva to play because, as I said previously, there are 3 games in which aren't as big, so maybe we can give one of them rest. And let's see, man. Up front,
Makes
also, I agree with Kai Havertz because he didn't score in that 7
His
nil.
redemption time. I think it's his time to come back. But
Yeah, yeah.
talking about the defense, man, what about Azpilicueta? He didn't feature against Norwich, so you think he'll be there against Newcastle, or like what do you think Tuchel's mindset is? Because like you mentioned, they have games against Leicester United, and then West Ham. So is he planning to rest them because that'll be kind of a long rest? So how do you think he'll really go about it?
With Azpilicueta, it is quite tricky because, of course, he can play that wide centre back as well as a right wing back role. And as much as I would love to have him at right wing back, what I think would be a wiser idea is trying to play him at that wide centre back role because he in a three back sorry in a like three defender formation he can definitely excel at that specific role, and maybe give the young Reece James another chance because he's also at pretty good form. And if we don't decide to play Mason Mount, which I think would be something which I personally wouldn't want, but something that Tuchel might actually do. So I would want someone like Reece James to give because he was also an assist giver to Mount. I remember in the recent game, so he's also at pretty good form. And I would want at least one wing back to be someone who's been playing and has that state of mind to and that winning mentality.
Makes sense, yeah.
Also, I
So
want
even in
Werner
the
up top.
chat, so even in the chat right now, uh,
Oh,
Drog
look
Baba
who's
just
here.
said Saul Kelado's game mein to. So and someone else, Just Viola, just mentioned that Kova might get rested. So how do you see them playing the midfields, man? Because he spoke about the defense right now. So what about the midfield? Because attack, though, I mean, I'm not too sure how Tuchel would exactly go. Well, maybe playing. What do you say? Sorry, I think Lukaku, Warner, both will be out, right? So how will he manage the midfield and then the attack?
Um, in the midfield, Saul is actually a pretty good suggestion because if Kovacic gets rested, I would want Saul to play there. He just doesn't get enough game time for Chelsea, and I haven't seen a very like excellent performance from him yet. I know he probably can do it, but I just want him to. I agree with Drogba over there that they should play him. So maybe rest Kovacic, play Saul in with Ross Barkley. So I mean, who knows, man? And with the attack, as I said previously, I want Mason Mount to play along with Kai Havertz, but I'm not exactly sure. He might even Tuchel might even play Ziyech at attacking midfielder spot or on the wings in like a 3-4-3 formation, something like that.
Yeah, so this would be a good game to maybe like use the whole squad. But I think now let's move to the final predictions. Those of you who are in the chat, Rock Baba sir, all of you can just give your predictions. What do you think will happen? I think most of you being Chelsea fans would predict the Chelsea win, but let's get a scoreline prediction from you, Usman.
Uh, I would say it really depends. Either Tuchel is going to treat this game as just a win and go, in which case it'll be a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, some like a 1 or 2 margin, in my opinion. Or if he just wants to go ham and like show Southampton their place, not being rude to any Southampton fans, then it might even go up to like a 4 or 5 goal difference, like 4-1 or like 4-0 or 5-1, something like that.
But
So
do you, I mean, Drogbaba and Jasveola, sorry, both mentioned 2-0. But to any of you in the chat or Usman, do you guys see Chelsea conceding a goal? Even someone else just mentioned this 2-0 scoreline. So I think everyone's on the same page here. But I mean, of course, we've seen Southampton. Hi.
Hi,
So
look
Ankit
who's
sir.
back.
Hello, hello. I hope I can enter, right? Great discussion going on. I was hearing in the background. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, no. So I was just asking them if they see Chelsea conceding against Southampton, because in the chat many people are giving a 2-0 prediction. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think Rockbaba said Barkley, Cho, Havertz front three. Um Interesting. Barkley kind of going front again, like someone who had a great kind of I think impact in the Southampton game, and I think 2-0 no sweat. Yeah, I think same is what Rock Baba is going with. Again, big up to Rock Baba, another great channel. Of course, great trivia that he had as well. Talking about trivia's something that of course we remember, and I think Chelsea perspective says I think Chelsea will score more than 2 goals in that game, and both teams will score. Okay, so basically, you're going with 3-2, right? Chelsea perspective. That's what I would assume. Like again, if my maths is right, I think that's what it tells. Or 3-1, as in these are, or maybe 4-2. As in, hopefully, we'll score a lot of goals. Again, people in the chat, thanks for hanging on, and of course, thanks to Front Three Podcast. Like you know, like you saw there, great hosts and great channel as well.